Phonological rules. What are phonological rules? Phonological rules are part of communication through language, whether spoken or written, and knowing what they are and why they exist can help us better understand our world. Understanding phonological rules is considered an important aspect in teaching English or working with people who have speech problems. In order to understand the purpose of phonological rules, we need to understand what the phoneme is. According to the traditional phonological theory, phoneme is a minimal unit in the sound system of a language. It's based on Crystal 1997 in page 287. Phonological rules are the rule, whether written or spoken, that control how sounds change during vocal communication. Then phonological rules describe how phonemes are realized as their allophone in a given environment. Environment in phonological type typically refers to neighboring phonemes. John Goldsmith, 1995, defines phonological rules are mappings between two different levels of sound representation, in this case the abstract or underlying level and the surface level. Bruce Hayes, 2009, described them as a generalization about the different way a sound can be pronounced in different environments. That is to say, phonological rules describe how a speaker goes from the abstract representation stolen in their brain to the actual sound they articulate when they speak. In general, phonological rules start with the underlying representation of sound, or the phonemes that is stored in the speaker's mind, and yield the final surface form, or what the speaker actually pronounced. For example, the English plural S may be pronounced as S, in cats, Z in cabs, or is in bases. These forms are all stored mentally as the same as, but the surface pronunciation, which are derived through phonological rules, are the different. Then assimilation. Assimilation is the sound become similar to its neighboring sound. It is often argued that assimilation rules arise due to errors of articulation. And the second is anticipatory, or sometimes it called as regressive, right to left. The first is a sound becomes similar to the following sound, and then the example is V plus nasal, or the nasal plus S. The third is repressatory, or sometimes called progressive. It means that left to right. That is, a sound becomes similar to the preceding sound. So it's to how to process the sound. And then the assimilation rules. That is the vowel nasalization in English, a rule that makes neighboring segments more similar by copying or spreading a phonetic property from one segmental to the other. And then the last is assimilation, is when a sound become more like a neighboring sound with respect to some phonetic property. The second type is insertion. Insertion is the phonetic shape of the plural marker in English, also depends on another phonological rules. The following English plurals. The first is matches. The second is horses. The third is churches. And the fourth is passes. Then another like them exhibit an insertion rules. The insertion was nothing or something in some environment. So they are depend on the environment of the word. The specifically a insertion er plus strident, or it calls a strident, fancy, smancy. Same for insertion is emphasizing. And then the insertion, for insertion, the short vowel is inserted between T and D in the pronunciation of the English past tense suffix AD. The first is D following T. The example is wanted, and then the second example is seated. And the second example, D follows D. The first example is needed. The second example is guided. I think that's all. Thank you.